And hello, everybody. I'm Alan Warren, and welcome to the hour of the Angry RVer. And today, this hour, well, you know what? I could get angry. I could, but I'm not gonna. At least I don't think so. For our listeners who enjoy the educational component of the Angry RVer, we do appreciate your support. I am telling you that I think we've hit a home run with this hour. Not with everybody, but with those who really want to learn about the less than glamorous side of the RV industry, a less than glamorous side of RV ownership. Honestly, the response to the Angry RVer has been and continues to be very, very impressive. Now, recently we've talked about what do you do if you get a lemon RV? We've talked about Camping World, some of the tactics that those guys seem to have perfected to take advantage of the naive, primarily the first-time RV buyer. And Camping World, by the way, is not the only one that does these things, but they are the best at it. With every interview, every one of them, we try to take the high road. We've done our best to be honest and classy and thorough in whatever the topic is that we are discussing. So after the show, we share the Angry RVer interviews on many different Facebook RV group pages, not in an effort to bash anybody. That's the truth. We do it to help provide information that RV owners and RVers are not getting anywhere else. I repeat, they're not getting anywhere else on the air. The result has been fantastic. Now, but apparently some folks in the RV owners group pages, they have complained saying that we are being too negative. I have been actually kicked out of a couple of groups because they don't want to hear the Angry RVer. Apparently they don't want anybody else to hear it either. To those people who don't want to hear the truth, the real truth about the RV industry, which some of it isn't very pretty, I have a question to ask you. If you're going to get on an airplane and you walked in, you take a look over to your left and you look up in the cockpit and the pilot's passed out and a bottle of vodka sitting there next to him. You walk back to your seat, nobody else noticed it, and you look and you tell the guy, hey, the pilot's passed out up there and he's drunk. And they said, would you shut up? You're being negative, man. We got someplace to go. Are you being negative or are you being honest? Well, that's all we're asking people to do. We're trying to ask people to listen for a minute. Just listen. If they get something out of it, great. If not, that's okay too. But to try to silence somebody because they're trying to provide information to others, information that we think is kind of important, you know what? I don't get it. The truth is that RVing is great. People want to do it. They want to escape. They want to create memories with their family and friends, create stories they can tell for a long, long time. And that's why people buy RVs. That's why they buy them. They're not buying them because of their quality construction. They buy them because of what that RV represents. If, and I hope that it never happens, if the public gets so fed up with poor quality or getting buried in an RV loan that's twice as long as the RV will even last, or feels like they're being taken advantage of because the industry didn't take the time to truly produce a quality buying and owning experience, I see a very dark future in RV sales. But you know what? If consumers demand higher quality products, if manufacturers begin to actually listen to consumers and look more at the consumer than adding another 50 cents to their bottom line profit, the industry, well, it just might heal and the RV lifestyle will stay healthy for many, many years to come. All right, on our guest line is a frequent guest of the show, the RV inspector, Mr. Al Pearce over in Hotlanta, Georgia. Hiya, Al. Mr. Pearce, are you there? I hear something, but I can't hear Al. Al, going. We got to get you. Can you hear us, Al Pearce? All right, well, I'm not sure what's going on. Goose, try it again. All right, so we've got Al Pearce on the line. Al is he's a certified RV inspector. He's been on the show many, many times. He lives in the Southeast, but I think he's on like a 28 or 38-day road trip. He lives the good life. Al is an RV inspector, and I learned many months ago that when he's inspecting motorhomes, you know what, Goose? Al, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, there we go. We're only going to have a few minutes, but I was getting ready to do the wind-up about how important when you check these motorhomes out, people are getting ready to buy a used motorhome. Many people forget about maybe the most expensive component that they need to really be focusing on, and that is a fluid analysis. Can you explain what that is and why it is so important?
Oh, absolutely, Alan. We can't see inside the engine. Nobody knows what it looks like in there. Like your body, the doctor can't see inside your body, so what do? They draw blood. because we can't see inside of an RV engine, we draw fluids. And, yeah, those results come back from the lab, and the lab makes recommendations. And, most of the time they come back good. Most RV owners take care of their RVs, but some of them don't come back so good, no.
But it's not just inside the engine, but it's inside not just the motor oil. It's the engine coolant and the transmission and the generator. Isn't that all part of the entire, like the blood makeup, if you will, of an RV?
Oh, absolutely. And our lab company that we used at Lubricants did a study of or analysis themselves of 5,000 different samples, and the coolants came back in a plus 60 range, meaning that more than 1 out of 2 coolant samples came back with severe issues because people don't think about changing the coolant. Unfortunately, if your engine gets too hot, you won't have to change the coolant. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. You'll get a whole brand new engine if you run it hot enough. I wonder why people don't think very much about that the actual inside, because that truly everybody seems to think about the roof, and the roof is important, but on a motorhome it's nothing compared to the drivetrain.
Well, I think I look back at my own history, my age. I didn't know much about fluid analysis, and you don't do it in your automobile, and you just don't think about it. Now, trucking companies and bus systems and mass transit, they do all that because they realize the long-term value of a piece of equipment. But people get rid of cars short-term. People get rid of RVs, not hold them so long. And I think that's what it is. It's just lack of knowledge.
Do many sellers, do they ask you? Or do the buyers ask you, please pull the fluid samples because I want them tested? Or is that something that you bring up to the buyers and they go, gosh, I never even thought of that?
Both. It's more the fact that I have to educate them on it because they just don't know. And I've recently, last few weeks they say, the dealer or the seller's already changed the oil, so I'm good. Well, yeah, they did, which is kind of too late for us to come into the game now because they're going to drive off the lot. No one knows what that oil looks like, but we want to get to it before they buy it. Then they can negotiate if they need to, and then test it again after they put some miles on it to see if there's any deterioration or any breakdown of the fluids. But a lot of folks tell them, oh, yeah, it's already been done. The buyer did it for me, or the seller did it for me, so I'm good. I don't need that.
So it's best to take those fluid samples before, obviously, when you've got some fluid that's been in there for a while. Hey, listen, Al, we got to let you go. We got Tom Johnson on deck, so can we get back in touch with you again real soon?
Absolutely, Alan. My friend, take care.
All right, thanks so much. All right, that was Al Pearce, the RV inspector. On the line is our friend Tom Johnson from JG Lubricant Services. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Hi, Al. How are you?
Well, doing great. So this is precisely what your company does, is they do lubricant analysis.
We do, yes. Yep, we do. We've been in business about 8 years now, but I've been personally doing this kind of stuff for about 30 years. I was an oil engineer for General Motors and also for Allison Transmission. And so retired and started this company, JG Lubricant Services.
Was that hard for you to get into that business? I mean, it's to me it makes a lot of sense, but it's something that if people just take for granted, or I'll get around to that later. Was it difficult for you to get this thing started?
No, not really, because we kind of lived and died by analysis, kind of like Al Pearce said. You can't get inside the transmission. You can't get inside the engine cooling system, hot water heating systems. So this is it's not new, but it's a really good diagnostic tool to not only look at the fluid itself, but, what is the system? What does it look like? How is the system reacting to changes that might be occurring in that oil or coolant?
How long does
and we just use this all the time as a tool.
All right, listen, we've got less than a minute to go. You'll be able to hang with us into the next segment, won't you?
Yes. I've been here all night and plan to be.
All right, good deal. All right, folks, we have Tom Johnson on, and he is with JG Lubricant Services. He's the guy that you need to send your samples to if you're getting ready to buy a used RV or a used motor coach, or if you have a motor coach, you want to find out the real honest-to-goodness condition of your moving parts. You need to contact JG Lubricant Services, and he'll send you a kit, and you can find out all that good stuff. This is the RV Show USA. I'm Alan Warren. We'll be back in just a jiffy. Y'all hang on.
The RV Show USA. Start living the RV dream today.
And Alan Warren back with you with my crackly voice. We're talking about the importance of taking care of the inside of the many invisible moving parts in a motorhome with Tom Johnson from JG Lubricants. Tom, who should take these fluid samples and how often should we take them?
Well, let me address the how often first. Generally, it's annually, either at the start or the finish of the season, whatever's handiest for you. But annually's pretty good for the transmission and the cooling system, the generator oil. The main engine oil probably should be checked at first every time before you plan to change your oil. And now don't change the oil, just take the analysis and we'll tell you whether the oil is still good or not. You know, diesel pushers, the most expensive things out there, Class A diesel pushers, the diesel oils today, and I did this stuff for 30 years, the diesel oils today are built to go 12, 15. We have some folks running 24,000 miles between oil changes and doing it safely.
Really?
Because diesel oils are just that strong. Now, if you have contamination from, let's say, a coolant leak or an internal fuel leak, which you wouldn't know without an analysis, then all bets are off. You know, you're going to have to change your oil and you have to take it and find out if you've got a cracked injector or a pinhole leak in your head gasket, something like that. But, you know, if the oil's just okay, it's going along, the engine's happy, you know, 12,000 miles on a diesel pusher is about right. And like I said, depending on duty cycle, that's, you know, whether you're climbing hills and doing a lot of idling, things like that. Duty cycle is important. But, you know, 12 to 15, maybe as many as 24,000 miles between oil changes. And do it safely because you're monitoring it. Like you said, it's just like a blood test.
So how does somebody get there's a kit, evidently, there's a kit that you can send people, they can buy, and it's like a do-it-yourself thing. You can test your own fluid sample so you don't have to go to your dealer, but you can kind of do it on your own.
That's right. We have two kinds of customers. We have do-it-yourself and do-it-for-me. You know, and the do-it-for-me guys, they'll have somebody else pull their samples, and NRVIA inspectors are like Al Pearce. Those guys are trained specifically to pull samples, and they use our kits. We're the national supplier to the NRVIA, and they come to our labs. We have one in Houston, one in Salt Lake City, and one in Indianapolis, Indiana. They come to our lab. We turn the results around, and once it hits the lab, typically 24 to 48 hours, and you have your answer back. You know, so those are the do-it-for-me folks. There are tons of inspectors out there. They're all trained to pull samples. All you got to do is go to nrvia.org/locate, and you'll find your nearest inspector. Or you can come to us directly, jglubricantservices.com, and we have an online store if you're a do-it-yourselfer.
You know, I've never heard of anybody else in this industry that is doing what JG Lubricants does, and I think if I owned a motor coach, there's no doubt that is what I would do. It'd be really high on my priority list. Tom, we got to let you go. We've got a man on the guest line who says that recently he did a fluid analysis, so let me jump over to him. Thanks so much. We'll get back to you soon, okay?
Okay.
All right, good deal. Hey, Ken, are you there? Ken in Pennsylvania. Can you hear me?
I can. How are you doing, Alan?
Good deal. All right. We're going to have to kind of keep it short, but you own a motorhome and you took samples and sent them in. Tell us about it.
Sure. We did just what you just said. And the reason that we wanted to do it, there were a few reasons. We did a test on our engine, our transmission, our generator. We just wanted to make sure that everything was working well with those three items. We wanted to make sure there was no unusual wear and tear. And we wanted to make sure that we were taking proper care of our RV. And we felt that we did this test and the test came positive, that meant we were doing everything right and everything was running the way it was supposed to be.
How did you even hear about this? Because I think I mentioned it to motorhome owners, up at Big Chief, our place in Texas. They go, I didn't even know you could. They didn't even know that there's a company that does that kind of thing. How did you learn about it?
Well, I originally learned about it. I took I'm a certified RV inspector, but I took the test only for myself and my wife to be sure that we were taking care of our RV. And during that time, they taught us the importance of having a fluid analysis completed. And then I saw that, and I always thought that it was something that a certified inspector had to do. I didn't know that we could do this on our own. I didn't know that we could purchase the kit and do it ourselves. And then we found JG Lubricants and found out that we could purchase the kit ourselves, perform the test, send them to JG Lubricant, and have the test performed.
So what do you get? He sends you some plastic bottles or something, or I mean, basically, you don't have to tell me every part, but seriously, what do you get when if I want to do this? What am I going to? I order what, and what do I have to do once I get it?
Well, you're correct. You get the instructions. You're getting 3 sample containers. You're getting 3 separate tubes, so that this would prevent cross-contamination. So each tube goes into the 3 separate areas: your engine, your transmission, and then for us, the generator. You're also getting your identification forms with labels, with little stickers. And after you draw each fluid, you take that sticker, you write down what it is, and you put it on that sample bottle. They also give you the packages to mail back to the company for the testing.
Difficult.
Oh, and you need the pump. Sorry.
Is it difficult to do? I mean, does it take a long time, or?
No, I'm not a mechanic or anything like that, but I do consider myself a little bit handy. I would say that it was easier than changing the oil in our motorhome or a car, and in fact, it's even less messy. I was surprised that I didn't spill 1 drop of fluid while doing this test. It's honestly very, very easy. I feel like almost anybody could do it.
And the turnaround time sounds like it's pretty quick. Once they get it, they just, I don't know what they do, but it sounds like within a couple of weeks, you've either got peace of mind or you say, uh-oh.
Exactly. Yeah, it took about 2 weeks because they have an online system. So they're able to, the longest part is the snail mail part. So once they have it, they seem to do the test very quickly and then post those to you on through email, and you're able to look right at it, and they make it very easy. It's color-coded. So if you see green, you're good. If you see, yellow, orange, and red, something's going on. But they walk you through the results and tell you, we luckily saw green.
So did you buy your motorhome new, or did you buy it used?
We actually bought it used. We bought it with about 4,000 miles on it, and I wish we would have known. Luckily, everything did turn out. I mean, it only had 4,000 miles on it. It was about 6 months old. It was pretty fairly new to us, but we did not know about the fluid analysis at the time.
So if you're going to ever buy another, especially a used motor coach, I guess there's no doubt you would take a fluid analysis. That's what it sounds like to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we would recommend this. I mean, yeah, definitely.
So I see you've got a video that you did on this. It's on YouTube. Tell us, how can we watch that video? We're going to have to call it right there, but how do we find the video on how to pull these fluid samples?
It is Moving Forward Adventures is our channel name, and it's about, the video is 2-3 videos old. I can't even remember what it was called. I think it's Is Your RV Healthy? Because we also consider it to be like drawing fluid, just like you would go to the doctor to find out if you have diabetes or something. Then this is very similar to that. You draw these fluids out of your motorhome to see if your RV is healthy.
Awesome. Well, Ken, thank you so much for being on the show. Moving Forward Adventures. We're going to go check it out.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. You take care. Folks, you got a motor coach. You need to think about pulling the fluids, having them checked. A little bit of money now might save you a whole lot of pain later. All right. Here in just a couple of seconds, we're going to be talking about poop. We're going to be talking about Big Dirty. We're going to be talking about the worst part of RVing, and that's your black tanks. Y'all stick around. This is the RV Show USA.
The RV Show USA. Start living the RV dream today.
Hey everyone, I'm Miss Katie Warren, aka the Graphics Girl on the RV Show USA. Give us a like by clicking the thumbs up button down below, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.